Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres. And as you can see, this morning I'm in the greenhouse. Now the first thing I want to do this morning is give you kind of a super quick tour and tell you what's going on, because we're making more changes today, and I also want to revisit the seeds that I started the other day, and I'll show you why. So first, quick tour. These are the two 162 trays that I still have up on the bench. You notice about half of the plants in here are gone. They've already been planted out, and I'm hoping to get more planted out in the next day or two. The problem is I've hit that situation where my beds are not completely ready in the garden, so don't have any place to put them. I'm trying not to have to pot these up. The 162s have worked great because I could just literally pull these plants out, pop them in, they're such healthy plants that they work great. Over here on the floor I have two other 162 trays, and you'll notice the one down there is 80% empty. That is just Sweet Williams now. All the other ones have already been planting out. I'm trying to save just a few to stick in a couple of the new beds. These guys here are all Veggies with the exception of one little strawberry. And I do have a place for the strawberry to go now, but the Veggies, that bed has not been rebuilt yet. So we're still debating exactly what to do, but so far they're fine. They haven't outgrown their cells particularly. Center stripe on the greenhouse is a mishmash of carrots, potatoes, onions, and brassicas. Now, these blue tubs that you'll see down here are too fragile to really be moved. I can slide them around in here, but they're on their last legs. They were old storage containers. We've used them for 2 years, I think, out here, and some of them are outside for a while too, and the UV simply just kills them. The reason we were getting rid of them as storage containers in the first place was that they were breaking. They did not hold up particularly well. We used them for my business, and the constant jostling in the truck was making them crack, but they were in good enough shape to use for potting into, and they have worked great. But that means that these two at the end cannot be just picked up and moved someplace casual, because they're going to break. You can see this is already cracked just from having been slid around here, and that's fine. It was my old button box. These cabbage are doing great. You can see these things are really heading up now. This guy will be the first one to harvest probably. Basically, I'm just watching them to make sure that they don't start to split. As soon as they start to do that, they're gone. These guys are mini broccolis, and the center has been harvested out, and most of the side shoots have been harvested. So what we're basically making a decision on now is how much longer do we keep them. I don't know what the answer to that is, but I think it'll probably be not too much longer. This guy had, let's see, I think he originally had pak choi in him, then he had some, there was a cabbage over there that's been harvested. These are mosh, which is a specialty lettuce, and they're doing great. And we'll probably just let them grow. Now, this one is full-size broccoli. And I think you can see we've got some nice heads coming up in there. It's not quite ready to harvest, but it's getting there. So once these are harvested, I don't know how much longer we're going to keep them. They will send up some side shoots, but it's kind of like this one over here. This one's pretty much done. That's been harvested. The center shoots have been harvested once, and the side shoots have been harvested twice. So I can see there's a couple of small ones here, but at some point you have to ask if it's worth the amount of labor and space and stuff like that, or is it time to just, you know, relegate it to the trash bin. I want to get these carrots out here. These may be ready to harvest, and I need to double check that. We've harvested a couple out and eaten them. My problem is my refrigerator is frozen, and my refrigerator is full, and I already have a pound of carrots in there that I had bought at the stores because I didn't think these were going to come off fast enough, and now they seem to be, and the usual. Everybody else is doing good. Lettuce, rutabagas, cabbage, more lettuce, more lettuce, more lettuce. Spinach. This guy needs to be fertilized. This guy's fine. These are... That's a boron deficiency, by the way. I need to give them some micro boost. These are Sora radishes down here. I don't know if you could see that or not, but Henry had one of these yesterday. He's very happy. I think Sora is turning out to be his very favorite. More lettuce. 1, 2, 3 different kinds of lettuce in there, and some little Brussels sprouts that I need to harvest. So, what now? Well, my goal today is to get... I topped these potato plants up the other day with soil. So they've got soil, up to the top on them instead of just being down somewhere. My goal is to get these out of here. So I would say that I'm going to be doing a little bit of mushing around in the garden, and then I'm going to get Henry to help me move these. I'm not supposed to lift anything too heavy right yet. I had some oral surgery yesterday and don't want to screw that up. So, yeah. But if I could, cross my fingers and get all my wishes, I would have these 4 potatoes out of here, and probably the broccoli and the 2 carrots. I don't know if I'll be able to manage all that. We'll see. Might also take out the onions. The problem is it's now getting to be way too hot in here, and I cannot keep it down below, say, 90 during the day. And these guys will be so much happier in the shade by the house that it doesn't make any sense to have to keep going crazy. These are my scroungy looking pak choys. There's nothing wrong with them except that they got too dry, and yeah, we had thrips, and that's why the edges are yucky looking. Also, they had a calcium deficiency, which also causes that burn edge on them. I've gotten them past that. They still will never look good. These would not be saleable, but they're just fine. They'll go into my kitchen, and all the bottom stuff on them is going to be used. I won't use this part here, but the bottom core of the plant will be fine for soup. In fact, I might do that this afternoon. The other day, I talked about the fact that I was planting veggie seeds, and that I had my veggie seeds divided into, well, not just veggie seeds. I had my seeds in general divided into 2 batches. One was big seeds that were going to go big fast, basically, and the other one was little seeds that were going to take a longer period of time to go big. And here's the result. These are planted the same day, and you can see these are sunflowers and squash and cucumbers and cantaloupe and watermelons. Now, not everything has come up in here because some of these are older seeds and I may need to replant, but you get the idea. You see how giant these things are. They're now starting to get their first true leaves. There's a true leaf coming in here. And these guys, too, are also starting to get their true leaves. And these are the other seeds that I planted. These are all zinnias until you get to here, when we have a couple hollyhocks and some peppers and some husk cherries. But you can see the difference in size. They were planted the same time. They have been given the same growing conditions. Nobody has been fertilized yet. I will be starting to fertilize now because these guys are getting their first true leaves too. But until now, all they've gotten is they've been kept well moistened. They've had plenty of light. There's a heat mat that's on at night to make sure they don't get too cold because we're still getting down to about 40 in here at night. So yeah, they're happy. But you see the difference. That's what I'm talking about when I say I use the bigger cells for these kind of plants. If I had these guys in here, they'd be totally crowding out their neighbors. And it would get to be a problem when I went to actually try and get them out. I anticipate having to pot these guys up unless I'm really lucky. And the lucky is going to be mostly based on whether our weather stays solid, as in safe to plant out stuff, and whether we have time to finish some of the irrigation. I hope that helps you understand what I was talking about when I said big seeds that are going to go big fast and little seeds that are not going to go big as quickly. As you can see, I still have plenty. These are all flowers of things to plant out. I'm holding off on the celosia because they are more frost sensitive. We currently don't have any frost in the forecast, and I think we're okay. Our technical last date of frost is about the 15th to the 22nd, so that's another week or so. But currently the forecasts at night are supposed to be no lower than 41. Most of the time it's up about 47, 48. So I'm basically waiting till we get past the 41 stage, and then I'll be trying to get all these guys out because I really want them outside. They'll be happier out there. I've had a little bit of trouble with Miss Issa the fuzzy cat digging up things, but we just watered everything this morning, so she doesn't like wet ground if she can avoid it. I'm still harvesting mice out every night, so that's another reason to wait just a little bit longer. I need to probably put some more milk crates out with more rat traps under them. I put the milk crates over the rat traps to keep the birds off of them first thing in the morning, because sometimes the birds are up before I am. Most of the time we're up about the same time, but once in a while you get some silly bird who decides to get involved, and I have smushed a bird before that way. That is not something I want to do. But we have to harvest our rodents out, otherwise they will eat everything. I think we're going to move this to the garden. So we'll see you later in the garden.